Caution. Disclaimer. This video is created for educational and entertainment purposes only. It reflects my personal thoughts, questions, and independent research, and is intended to foster a film community and encourage discussion. This content is not meant to offend, slander, or present complete or definitive truths. Please do not attempt to replace anything shown or discussed on this program. Film Tricks and Politics podcast and its affiliates are not responsible for any mishaps, misunderstandings, or misinterpretations. All opinions expressed by a guest are their own and do not reflect the views of Blackjack TV, its content, or the Film Tricks and Politics podcast. Enjoy the show, engage respectfully, and be entertained.
And work their way up to a network series, and then they could kind of find work in that space for decades. Some people would push a little harder and join the traveling circus that is big budget movie making, or maybe some would veer off into docs or some scrappier types of production, but most people could find a home in the middle. From what we can see now, though, that all seems to be ending. As Patrick O'Sullivan, the creator of the Duke film recently, someone who goes
all right.
earlier on the middle-class world, he tells me
It's back.
that it's no longer really possible
Okay.
to have the career that he does.
Here we go. First time I'm doing this. Letting you guys join in on the live show tonight. Doing a live for the Film Tricks and Politics show. I'm gonna be on here with you guys for a little bit. Like I said in the title, it says "My Texas, Your Taxes." So my Texas, your taxes. That's not the title of the show tonight, but that's kind of the title of this live right now. Basically came across an article and some stuff I had some questions about, you know what I mean? I don't know how this is going to work, but before we get started on here, let me get started on here. So I got a couple of cameras going on. All right, that one's set good. All right. Probably can't read that, but yo, you know how we do it. Film Tricks of Politics. I think this is episode 11, 12, I don't know. But yo, we back. We're back here with Film Tricks of Politics. I got a great show tonight for you guys tonight. We have some people, some folks with IG joining us right now. I may jump on Facebook here in a little bit. So if you see me looking over here at this camera, there's a camera there. If you see me looking down, there's a camera here as well. But I'm glad you guys are joining me tonight. Whoever's joining, please put, you know, a thumbs up in the emoji in the chat. I'm just gonna let it build up a little bit. Get some folks in here. But again, I had a great trip. How was you guys' weekend? How was Memorial Weekend for you guys? Are you still celebrating it? Are you recouping? I had to take a recoup day to get everything together. It's probably why I was running a little late on the live and everything like that. So I definitely wanted to make sure I had everything set up right. But we got out of town, got a chance to go see some family. Got to see one of my nieces graduate. Congratulations for Walk Across the Stage. And that was an awesome moment. I'm sure it was an awesome moment for them. I remember when we walked across the stage in high school, with amongst your friends and your family cheering you on, and then we went and ate some really, really good food. As in everybody, I know you probably got a chance to sit and hang out with family, you know, and hang out and enjoy them. I'm gonna pull this over here. I think I might get a better reception because I'm far away from my Wi-Fi type of stuff, so it seems like my phone is kind of tripping a little bit. But a lot of us got a chance to go out of town or be in town or go to the beach and hang out with our families and and enjoy a good time. Friends, family, neighbors, all that kind of stuff. That's what the great thing about Memorial Day is. Yes, we are celebrating those who have fallen and fought for this country and gave their blood, their ultimate sacrifice, which is their life. And they had to think that before they gave their life. They had to admit it that, yo, yes, I'm fighting for America. I'm fighting for this country. I'm fighting for my family. I'm fighting to get back home, to sleep in my own home. And so we all got a chance to celebrate, barbecue, hang around the pool. I know it's probably rainy around in some areas, but I know you got outside and it was still a good time. And family's good. And a lot of times on the social media, on these platforms, the social media platforms, we forget that family's family, and things are different when you're online to versus when you're in front of each other. And I know y'all have heard me say this before back in January when I got a chance to go see some family over another family event that had happened. And so you get in touch. But I think it's pertinent to what's going on, and especially the journey that I've been sharing with all of you through this Film Tricks and Politics podcast, is my transparent journey of crossing over from making films to directing to writing to teaching film to right now on this podcast talking about things that affect the film industry. And so the idea of taxes and how film is made, that's what I really wanted to kind of speak on and talk about. So bear with me. I'm trying to stay on point here, trying to keep my topics going here, but I got a lot of moving parts happening right now. And also being on the live with IG right now, I really wanted to do this. If you guys can go follow me on the Film Tricks and Politics and help me get my numbers up over there, I'll be able to go live over there. But I don't mind doing it on Blackjack Films, because Blackjack TV, we're also showing all the different aspects of what we got going on, from me working on directing film. But again, this is like, yeah, I'm glad I said that, because it got me back on track. This is my transparent moment of showing you how film is changing and how we're rolling with it, especially with the social media. And a lot of times we need to go out and touch grass. And I think these holidays sometimes gives us a chance to go and get a breather, get away from the digital, and really go and feel out like really where we are and what's going on. And so, yeah. I mean, you got to step back, you got to take a breath, you got to make this realistic for yourself. And so with that being said, we're going to get into some of the topics to talk about, and I might be all over the place, but like I said, I'm just jumping back in the saddle. I had to take a little breather, and being around family, it kind of gave me a chance to get to recognize where I need to be, to get a reminder. I want to give a shout out to my brothers-in-law. Pulling me to the side, asking me, about certain things I've been doing with the political side of things. There's things I've been doing with, the Facebook side of things, and how I go and talk on there and respond to certain people about things. And I was letting him know this overall, like I was taking a mental break, just getting away from it, because I kind of started sensing that a lot of the social media, they want it to be controversial or negative. You want to push certain PowerPoints and things of that sort, and I don't want to be going down that lane of really feeling like I have to be controversial in order to share the information that I have. See, me, what I'm doing is I'm taking like the same information that everybody else is getting, and I'm putting it in through my filter of how films are made, how films are produced, how humans entrepreneurial motivate themselves and keep it going and keep going and keep going. And then also in that, I want to be transparent enough to say, hey, yeah, I take breaks. I take a break. I step back. It's healthy for me. Plus I have a family, and I enjoy my work-life balance, and I enjoy my breaks. I enjoy my time away. I enjoy sharing things with you guys. I enjoy learning from you guys and all of that and everything like that. So my thing is, yeah, I want to give a shout out to my brother-in-law, because he said, hey, because he took it, he thought I was saying something else, but what he said was still valid. He said, hey, I like what you're doing. I may not agree with everything that you're saying. I may agree with, I may not even know, but I'm learning and I like what you're doing. And he said, it looks like you like what you're doing. He said, keep doing it. He said, don't ever let anybody stop you. Don't ever let any comment stop you. And I wanted to let him know, like, yo, nah, my mind is set. I'm strong enough. I understand. I got thick skin. And we're gonna keep it pushing. So that's why I'm here on here right now tonight. This is like, I'm keep pushing, because a lot of times we make all these arbitrary rules how we supposed to post, when we supposed to post, how many times we're supposed to post, what we supposed to post. And then time and time again, we see these celebrities and regular medium celebrities posting in different kind of ways, doing crazy stuff. So it's like, man, I say whatever helps your mental health, your heart, your branding of what you're gonna do that. And everything else will fall into place. And if you need to feel like you need to post every day, like all those people saying, why don't you work your way up to it? Why don't you work your way up to it? Don't be so quick to have to jump on the bandwagon of everything, you know? So, like I said, we are on the actual Film Tricks and Politics podcast right now. This episode is probably gonna drop next week, I think. I'm live right now on IG. What's up, Clever Minded? I see you there, sir. What's going on? Yes, sir. We are back online. We are live. My Texas, your taxes. We're talking about tonight tax incentives in Texas. We're also talking about Hollywood is overseas. Why is Hollywood overseas? I'm talking about Hollywood is overseas because they're making movies over there because they say it's more economical. Now, we're gonna go in a couple of different routes and channels and nooks and crannies. I'm gonna do my damnedest and my best to stay in a realm of talking about where film is right now, where the industry.
This morning, the House agreed to set aside $1.5 billion over the next decade to entice companies to film here in the state. KXAN's Adam Schwager breaks down what this means for Texas.
After months of lobbying at the Capitol, movie stars Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey can finally rest easy.
Members, this is Make Texas Film Industry Great Again, Bill.
The governor's office would ultimately be in charge of who is eligible for this program. For example, us in the news, we wouldn't apply. Neither would live sporting events, adult films, or award shows.
It feels great, not gonna lie.
That's Chase Musselwhite and Grant Wood with Media for Texas. They've put their film careers on hold to start lobbying for Texas stories to be told in Texas.
Our goal is not to follow suit with what a lot of these other states have done, which is just to be a home for Hollywood or other productions to jet in, utilize the area, and then jet out.
Projects get a percentage of money spent in the state back based on how big the production is and what type of production. In addition, extra incentives called uplifts can be earned for Texas heritage films, faith-based films, films which hire veterans, films shot in rural areas, and films which do post-production in Texas.
If you work with the higher education to hire students, then you can get another uplift as well.
When you have these opportunities readily available for students, you end up building your industry and building up these opportunities, building up connections, your network.
While the bill passed overwhelmingly, there's been a very vocal opposition.
Film Tricks and Politics, we back. I think the camera cut off on us. I was recording, trying to get the show in. We was talking about taxes, tax incentives. Not really talking about taxes and getting on in detail, but we're talking about tax incentives and how they've been working in Texas. So I do have my topics is over. Hollywood is overseas is going to be a topic that I'm going to speak on. So, we got cut out, but I think I was explaining some things. Welcome to Film Tricks and Politics. This has been a journey. I took a break a little bit from the camera of recording. I just wanted to dig into some stories. I wanted to do a little research on certain things, get a little mental rehab as well. Plus, it's been the holidays, and also I just celebrated my wedding anniversary with my beautiful wife, 10 years. Yeah, round of applause for that. Beautiful thing, beautiful thing. And we had that, and plus it was like Mother's Day weekend, Mother's Day week, my mom's actual real birthday, and all of that. So it's been busy, but here I am back, and I think in the first segment before this camera got cut off and everything, I was getting a shout out to family members I got a chance to see this weekend, and big shouts out to my niece for graduating, my baby sister's oldest daughter for graduating this year. Big shouts out to her and her friends, and I wish you guys the best. I know y'all got a great journey ahead of you, and the schools you're gonna be going to. They're going off to college. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Congrats. Just put a hand for that. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, and y'all can hit that Cash App too, and we can send them some money so I can get them some stuff and everything like that. Help out the channel. That helps. The Cloud9, the Cash App there is real. If you can hit that, that does help the channel so I can keep it going. I have not started like a Patreon or anything of that sort quite yet. Like I said, I'm walking through this. I'm learning every step of the way as I go. Organically. It's not that I'm not being told this information or researching information. I feel like timing is important. I feel like me understanding it fully before I jump into something is super important to me as I document what's going on. But hey, so what is going on out there? So let's talk about it. In the airwaves, I put out some things here and there just to get responses and ideas. And far as this goes is that I'm here to talk about film and where it's at and where it's going. We know that we have filming going on for the greater part, I guess, about 10 years now. We can see that film has been growing in New Orleans, has been growing in, we had a little blurb for Shreveport, I think Atlanta, of course, Detroit. Even some places in Los Angeles, California, a lot of like indie filmmakers or independent filmmakers are splashing into the scene and doing productions and putting them out. But what I was just mentioning on when I mentioned New Orleans is still, that's an arm and an apparatus of the Hollywood system, meaning that you're not necessarily going to be able to just skedaddle over to New Orleans and get signed on. You may still have to travel out to California, Los Angeles, or a New York city in order to land a gig or send your demo reel tape to these cities in order to get a gig that may end up resulting you filming in these other satellite cities. Why is that? Why is it? Because of the location? They're filming a movie that's solely based in New Orleans culture, and they want to film that. Some of it is, but let's talk about it. And this is go across the board with a lot of cities. I'm just using New Orleans as an example. So the thing is that really it has become it's quite expensive to film a film. It's quite expensive to film a film. The production cost just can range in what type of production size that you're dealing with. Remember, this channel, this show is about the filmmaker's filmmaker, the guy, the gal, the persons that are filming on the weekends, on your days off, nighttime, early in the mornings, late at night, in the middle of the day, anytime that you can. The student filmmaker that's filming at school, that's getting some projects done, doing some things, but not quite understanding what they're doing, not quite understanding the film theory behind where they are. That's where I want to hopefully throughout my journey, no matter how old I get, I want to be able to have my youthful film mind on me to be able to share the experience of where it is right now, where it is to do this type of filmmaking right now. And so that's who I'm talking to. So I really wanted to say that to a lot of my newer viewers that may be coming on. And I want to say thank you. Make sure you hit that like and that subscribe and notification bell. And that's super important for us to be able to create this algorithm and this relationship between each other in order for me to be able to connect with you and for you to be able to connect with the information I'm able to bring. Because I believe when you're in the beginning of filming or you've been filming for a while, it's good to hear a like-minded voice that may have some wisdom or some advice or something that you could hear to be like, oh, that's a little puzzle piece I can connect to here so I can move forward. That's what this show is about. That's what this whole channel is about. It's not about me trying to find the latest controversy or keeping up with the Joneses with all the hype and topic conversations. You guys got Cam Newton and Shannon Sharp and all those cool guys to do that with. Me, I'm over here just to give you a breath of fresh air of something different to drink that may have a little controversy sometimes because I'm very passionate about film. I'm very passionate about entrepreneurship. I'm very passionate about, just making my mics on, just like that. I'm very passionate about being able to deliver a educational message in a practical sense, you know? So New Orleans, it's not about that they got the aesthetic of the South or what do they call it? I forgot what the name of the city name. It'll come to me as I'm going. But New Orleans, you know, the sultry South, yeah. But the thing is that they're providing, the city is providing, or the state maybe, it might be the city, they're providing a tax incentive. They're providing a tax incentive for a production to come to their state and film. And on top of that, some states have like parameters of how you can do that. Like, hey, you need to use this space, that space. So we're gonna get into all that. But right now, I just want us to kind of marinate on that. That's why we started to see an influx of productions filming in these places because they're getting a tax incentive. And you're just like, what's a tax incentive? What the hell is that? So, you know me, I'm always gonna find either a visual aid or a video for us to go to and check out. So while I drum up what I think tax incentive is, let's check out this video so that way we can be on the same page about it.
Incentives. Show businesses are actually coming this way. They're increasing their presence here in Texas. Ken Molestina is showing us how these incentives work and how they have an impact on the Lone Star State.
Texas has frankly not been very competitive over the last however many years that it's been.
But people like Dallas Film Commissioner Tony Armour and Mindy Raymond with the Texas Media Production Alliance believe a change is coming.
There is a buzz and there is an excitement around the industry now and on the potential growth of the industry.
There is such a great excitement that hasn't really been there before.
This year, state lawmakers allocated $200 million from the state's budget to go towards the state's film incentive program.
The name of the game for our industry is incentives.
If you've seen the TV show 1883, the prequel to the popular Yellowstone series, you know that many of those scenes were shot right here in the Fort Worth stockyards. Armour and Raymond say they want to see a whole lot more of that, and they believe that's where the incentives come into play.
A lot of other states use a tax credit, but because Texas doesn't have a state income tax, ours is more of a rebate system.
So productions come into the state of Texas, they spend their money, they have to prove that they've spent money in Texas, whether hiring Texans, using Texas companies and vendors and businesses.
So here's how it all breaks down. The state would give some of that spending back to the productions, in many cases somewhere between 5 to 22%, but really it just depends on the size of the production and the kind of production. It would apply to things like TV commercials, TV shows, movies, and even video games.
That $200 million approved this year was a huge boost from the $45 million approved during the last legislative session. In the state's history, the highest dollar amount given to Texas's film incentive program was $95 million.
North Texas has had great crew and some sound stages are starting to come online, but the incentives has been what's really lacking. And so this is really going to be a game changer for Texas as a whole and for North Texas in being able to bring more production to the area.
A big justification for using taxpayer dollars to pay for these incentives is the idea that this will create a bustling economy and add more jobs. But critics say otherwise.
But any argument based on both tax revenue, that these will pay for themselves, none of the findings, it's nowhere close. And in terms of jobs, it tends to be a relatively small number of jobs and not permanent.
Jensen isn't alone in his analysis. A 2020 study out of Kennesaw State University in Georgia looked at whether film tax credits had a positive impact on the economy. It found they did not. And several states who use film incentive programs have reported mixed results when it comes to economic impact. Plus, Jensen says productions will just end up moving from state to state to whichever one offers the most competitive incentives.
As soon as another state ups their incentives, the next sequel of the movie moves to another. So this race to the bottom where these productions, you get John Wick 5, right? But it's not clear number 6 or 7 is going to be filmed here.
Armour rejects the idea that these incentives don't create economic development, but he says aside from that, there are other reasons why it should be supported. He says this will benefit Texas tourism, and people who live around here in these parts will have a new sense of pride instilled in them.
Everyone's just really excited for the future to see what comes next.
I'm Ken Molestina, CBS.
Kind of along the lines with that saying, just to put it on layman's terms, tax incentive, what I feel the tax incentive is that it's like a gift. It's like, hey, you're bringing your production here, you're going to bring attention and awareness to what our city, hotels, food, tourism, all that's going to be getting used, because you're going to bring people here to film, and you're going to be using some of our folks, some of our landmarks, some of our locations. That stuff's going to bring more revenue to the city. So why not? And especially, why not give you a kickback of, if you spent, say, $1,000 on your production in our city, why wouldn't we want to give you back $200 of that, or maybe upwards of $300 of that? So you're overall spending $700 for production in a new area city with a new backdrop and settings and a cachet of different crew and actors and talent there. You're actually getting a discounted deal. So it's kind of like a gift in return, a handshake, give and take here, transactional situation thing. But you're probably like, okay, what does California, Los Angeles don't have that New Orleans has? I mean, New Orleans don't even have access to the coastline, the beach. They don't even have, major nice downtown situation, or, for what, there may be a lot of situations. I didn't mean to say nice, because I mean, there is a very historical beauty to New Orleans downtown. I have a lot of great pictures that I've taken on my own as I traveled over. But New Orleans downtown has a very beautiful architecture, historical building, setting, statues. I got a lot of great pictures. I'll add some if I can. But the tax incentive from the city, that is just a kickback to that production company in order for them to entice them to come. But we were like, why would they want to leave California? California has all these other amenities, and that's where they are. They have soundstage. They got everything they need. They could replicate whatever they need or if it's about New Orleans, because some of the films that are filmed in New Orleans, they're not there to lead you on that it's a New Orleans film until you get to the end credits, and it'll show you like what city it was filmed in and the thank yous or appreciations and things of that sort. But throughout the film production, watching it, it's not like New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans. It's just a dramatic film that you're watching. Something they could have filmed in the soundstage in Los Angeles, because Los Angeles has become expensive. California has become expensive. We could blame it on the administration of the mayor's office and the city council in Los Angeles. We could blame it on the city council and all that, the the entire government of California, from the governor on down. All of that is a valid thing, and I'll put up some clips here so you can check it out.